back in the shop after a day out yesterday. Now we're going to have a look at what the difference between the two reels are, why one's different to the other, and why some people prefer a spin reel, some prefer an overhead reel. Start off with the spin reel. If you're going to have one outfit, the spin reel is a universal reel. You can bottom bounce with it, you can jig with it, you can cast with it, depending if you match it up to the right rod. It is a universal outfit compared to the overhead, which is more of a winch. This is the Slammer 3 650. It's the top end of the Penn's spin market. Penn's been around for a long time. The Slammers have been around for a while. They're improving them every year. Waterproof, metal body, heavy duty bar arm, metal spool, solid drag system. So this size reel here, the 650, good for fishing off the beach for a salmon, snapper out in the boat, right through to a kingy, trophy size kingy or a yellowfin. They've got the drag, 20 kilo. Matched up with braid, they have capacity. Good all-purpose reel for somebody that wants to try and have minimal outfits on the boat. The other style of reel we were using yesterday is the overhead style reel. It is more of a winch. It's you can really lean into them, you can crank on them. They don't quite have the drag of the other reels. This one's got about a 15 kilo drag, but you can lean into it. You can really winch on them, especially if you're down deep and you've got a big fish. You can drop back to the low gear and you can just crank. So yesterday we were running a bit over half a kilo sinkers just to get to the depth. So you're bringing up half a kilo without a fish every time. It's a lot easier on this style of reel than it is on the spin reel. But this is basically for trolling, for dropping straight up and down. They are a hard reel to cast with. You want a universal reel, spin reel, but for what we were doing yesterday, I find this is the ideal reel to use. So with these, we've got the ratchet. So when you push that in, it makes the ratchet work. So you're trolling lures or something like that, you'll hear the line scream off. Our 2-speed mechanism, push the button in for low gear, twist the side plate, go back into high speed. The levers, our drag and our free spool, pull it all the way back, let the line run out, push it up, you've got a drag. You have got a little bit of extra drag once you're pushing the side button. This is our preset knob, so we can set this so when that lever's there, we can have 6 kilo of drag. We try not to play with that once we're out there, because we can get that little extra drag by pushing up on the lever, pushing the button in. So we've had a look at the main differences between the two reels on the outside. Let's open them up and have a look at the differences of the reels on the inside. First big difference between the two reels is the anti-reverse system. This is a mechanical anti-reverse. You've got the two little pulls here as they go around. One slots in, one comes up. It's not an instant anti-reverse. It has a little bit of play in it, but these are a bulletproof anti-reverse system. The other one is a bearing anti-reverse system. You've got a series of bearings that sit on this little shaft, sit on the shaft there. They catch onto that, and that's an infinite anti-reverse. It's instant. What we found with these over a test of time is they don't like hard work. So these are one of the things you've got to keep an eye on when you're doing maintenance on your reel. A little bit of lubrication, not a lot. If there's a lot of lubrication, you'll start going backwards because the bearings just don't bite onto what they need to bite onto. That's the big difference between the anti-reverse systems with these two. That's mechanical, that's bearing. Rightio, the big difference between the drags on these reels, the Slammer with its 20 kilo of drag and the Fathom with its 15, are the washers. As you can see, the Slammer's got multiple carbon washers in the top and the bottom of the spool, where the Fathom's got one carbon washer, one metal washer. It is a big disc, it has a lot of surface area. These guys make up for the surface area by having multiple discs. But with the multiple discs, you do get more pressure on it, therefore you get the better drag pressure. What kills reels? Most reels are either lack of maintenance or salt water. The new waterproof rating on these, as you can see, they've got a nice waterproof seal around them. They're an IPX6 waterproof rating on the slammers, which means they can take 100 litres of water a minute at 3 metres for 3 minutes. So it is a fairly waterproof reel in the scheme of things. Out of the box, they are a very greased up reel. You could do 12 months worth of work on this before you need to, hard work before you really need to maintain it, which is impressive. A lot of companies, their reels don't have much grease in when they first come out of the box. You don't need to fill the reel with grease. We see a lot of reels come in that are just full of grease and they jam up themselves that way. A little bit of grease in the right areas where you're going to have a lot of wear and tear along the gears is all you need. A little bit of oil on your shaft is all you need. You don't need to go overboard, but the shaft on your slammers, on your spin reels is one of the things that most people miss. They can do it without pulling the reel apart, and it's just going to add to the longevity of your reel. Again, you don't want to get grease on your drag. If you get grease on the drag, it's adding lubrication to it and it's just going to help it slip. So try and keep your drags grease free. Bail arm on your spin reel, there is another little bearing in here. So undo your screw, a little bit of oil in there, put it back up nice and tight. A little bit of oil down the side there because it is a friction point. Again, just keeps that longevity of your reel going and makes it a lot easier. Right, when you wash your reels, a light rinse under fresh water, never high pressure, because then you're forcing water into bits and pieces. Not so much with this because of the new waterproof rating, but especially your overheads, you don't want to force water into those components because unless you hang it up the right way, they just don't dry out. Wash them with your drags up, that keeps the drags sealed. After the reels have dried off, back your drags off so they don't lock up together. So before you store them, give them a good shake, a good spin, just everything to try and get rid of that residual water. If you're going to store them for any length of time, just a light bit of oil on a rag and rub that around the reel too is just another way of extending the lifespan of your items.